In the United States, the approach to creating music in the form of producer albums has long been thriving, and DJ Khaled can confidently be called the main producer there. His peculiarity is that although he has the prefix DJ in his pseudonym, he has not been involved in creating music for a long time, and he makes his millions literally out of thin air. DJ Khaled is a unique type of producer whose superpower is the ability to meet and attract people who later help him create his super successful albums. At the same time, Khaled himself never stays in the shadows. He cleverly sells himself and his releases for decades. In this video, we will tell you about this amazing musician, whom many creators could call a skillful swindler. Well, let's get started. DJ Khaled is both an embodiment of the American dream and a real parody of it. In hip-hop, there are DJs, nerds who can scratch super technically. There are DJs who write instrumentals, and there are plenty of them even in our country. What is at least one DJ tape worth? And there is DJ Khaled, who does not belong to either of them. He has gone his own way. Khaled is one of those DJs who release mixtapes under their own name, which usually include tracks that, for various reasons, are not suitable for regular albums. He himself rarely writes music. Talented assistants do everything for him. But he must be given credit. He has taken this activity to a fundamentally new level. A host on a rap radio station in Miami, he was familiar with Lil Wayne and Birdman, the first people of the Cash Money label, who sharply emerged as leaders of the genre in the 2000s. Thanks to such connections, Khaled's releases were generous with verses from top stars. Thus, on his debut album, Listen the Album in 2006, there were 40 invited rappers. Khaled's role was to bring them together, provide instrumentals and shout out pretty funny hooks and ad-libs. The more popular artists agreed to throw a verse for the next album, the more pompous the titles of Khaled's new works became: We the Best, We Global, Victory, We the Best Forever, and so on. By the way, here's one of the tracks made by Khaled where you can find a very rare thing. Khaled himself performs a few lines. Usually he never raps.
We the best is the best. Why while you haters asleep? I'm yelling free weed.
The promotion of his new releases became increasingly eccentric. As part of the advertising for the single I Want to Be With You, Khaled made a proposal to Nicki Minaj either in jest or seriously live on MTV News. She, of course, declined. However, in the early 2010s, Khaled's releases, Kiss the Ring and Suffering from Success, while still featuring an impressive list of well-known collaborators, were not as warmly received. This was a turning point in the artist's career and he needed to come up with something quickly.
DJ Khaled!
Still here with my day one nigga, so you hear me say.
The year 2015 was an important one for Khaled. In May, he left the Cash Money label. In October, he registered under the username at jkhaled305 on the Snapchat mobile app, which allows users to post short-lived videos. In a short amount of time, Khaled became one of the most popular Snapchat users, trailing only Kylie Jenner in terms of followers.
The key to more success is using the right soap. I only use Dove soap. Trust me.
What is the secret to the 40-year-old man's success with an audience that is half his age? It's his endless repetition of his own catchphrases like "You're smart," another one, and that's the key. It's his constant filming. Khaled would film himself on Snapchat like when he went jet skiing in the ocean at night and got lost. It's in the humorous keys to success he shares, whether it's pillows, coconut oil or a hearty breakfast because they, the evil forces, don't want you to eat well. It's in the fact that there are so many people who will give you advice on how to live. Khaled pretends to be a serious motivational speaker and spouts desperate gibberish, turning his Snapchat into a platform for satire, although he possibly believes everything he says. The sudden popularity had a positive impact on the sales of Khaled's 2015 release, I Changed a Lot, and also allowed him to sell t-shirts and socks with meme-worthy phrases, which started as simple voice tags at the beginning of his career and turned into full-fledged parts of his songs, helping him steal any show. He signed contracts with Apple Music and a premium alcohol brand, and in late February 2016 it was announced that Khaled's management would now be handled by Jay-Z's Rock Nation label. It turns out that DJ Khaled has discovered another way to achieve success, just constantly talk about it.
I fuck you right, have you walking from side to side? How many times?
Of course, Khaled hasn't stopped at what he's achieved. In recent years, he has used his influence and popularity to transform himself into a kind of rap business coach. He preaches positive thinking and other info guru mantras so desperately that it hardly raises any doubts anymore. Khaled is just kidding around. In 2016, he even wrote a book of affirmations, literally titled The Keys to Success. The following year, he released an album with the modest title Grateful. He sold real thrones for the homes of wealthy Americans, as well as gold lions as part of a furniture line through a company he also signed a promotional contract with. He also promoted cryptocurrency, for which he eventually paid for legal battles with the tax police. In general, since the second half of the 2010s, everything he did was perceived as marketing, especially his music. Today, DJ Khaled's albums seem to exist solely for the pursuit of success. The songs are high-class mashups designed like rockets aimed straight at the top of the Billboard charts. The selection of artists is aimed at creating his personal brand. Only superstars appear on his releases today, and if you're a nobody, you have no chance of making it onto the guest list. But what exactly does Khaled do when creating his albums? As we said before, he doesn't do anything, but he does everything at once. Yes, it is Khaled who determines the guest list for the album, the mood of the beats. Sometimes he is even present when the instrumental is being created, and of course always present when a verse from some artist is being recorded in his studio. Of course, Khaled himself doesn't mix or write anything, but it is he who decides whether to give the green light to a particular track or not. Therefore, it is certainly not fair to call him a full-fledged rap swindler. His talent lies in the fact that throughout his career he skillfully connects the right people with each other and organizes the process of creating hits, which he then releases under his own tag. Of course, from the point of view of authenticity, this is not cool, but it seems that none of the artists object to such cooperation with Khaled, because they all know that if they make it onto this producer's album, they are guaranteed success.
Another one.
DJ Khaled is far from being a grey cardinal. He always shows himself in all his music videos, appearing alongside rappers who rap while he just stands next to them and dances. But most importantly, he shows that he is the full creator of the song. Everyone around knows that the central figure of the track or mixtape is DJ Khaled.
Another one.
He has already earned hundreds of millions of dollars doing this and confidently moves towards $1 billion. At the moment, he is in 7th place in the ranking of the highest paid hip-hop artists in the United States. But he doesn't even rap. Just imagine the scale of the genius of this approach. However, in 2019, there was a second turning point in the artist's career when his status as a superstar could be challenged. In 2019, Khaled released the album Father of Assad, which lost the race in the charts to Tyler, the creator's album Igor. In an attempt to increase album sales, Khaled began issuing a digital version of the album along with sold energy drinks through the shop.com website, with which he signed a contract. According to Times, Billboard disqualified most of Khaled's similar sales and gave Tyler first place on the Billboard. If you remember, a similar situation happened a couple of years ago when Tekashi accused Billboard of fraud, as they counted the sales of digital copies of releases along with the sale of merchandise from Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. Tekashi lost that dispute and couldn't get to the top spot, even though his track Gooba caused much more resonance among hip-hop fans. As for DJ Khaled, it must be admitted that many thought he began to lose his positions, and his album format no longer caused such a stir among the public. After a 2-year break, the artist returned with a very loud album, Khaled, and immediately regained all his lost positions. This was largely due to the fact that Drake, Justin Bieber, Lil Baby, DaBaby, Migos, Post Malone, and many others participated in the new project. In general, the most famous rappers from all over the world gathered there. As a result, first places in all charts and hundreds of millions of views. DJ Khaled himself did not rap a single line.
DJ Khaled!
Bitches calling my phone like I'm locked up non-stop.
In general, that's about it.